What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised. The 1980s Dynasty was so successful that it got its reboot in 2017 on the CW. But what has changed from the original show? Now, in its third season, the reboot has plenty of changes in the plot. Fans love the new storylines, but today, we're going to talk about what the cast of Dynasty should actually look like if the reboot was completely adopted from the original show. Keep watching to see the shocking differences. Cristal's name. In the reboot, Linda Evans' character, Cristal Carrington, has been renewed to Cristal, performed by Nathalie Kelley. And this change was made because of really significant meaning. Cristal is now Latina, and she comes from Venezuela, following Kelley's Peru origins. This modern version represents a more current picture of what's happening in America. The diversity of the cast really represents that, Kelley said. To weave that into the narrative of Dynasty is really exciting and important to talk about the geopolitics of Venezuela on a CW show. Women power. The two female central stars, Gillies and Kelley, made a really powerful statement from their roles. They are both strong women who have amazing ambitions and goals. The reboot of Dynasty has increased its feminism from 1981 original, and this is truly something to honor. Savage said that the original show really found itself when the two women began fighting against each other, though in the 80s series, their fights were because of a man rather than a business. The rebooted soap opera started just as the original did, with Fallon Carrington discovering that her father, influential, wealthy oil magnate Blake, is about to marry his former secretary, Cristal. Now let's see all the changes the show did when it comes to its characters. Sammy Jo Carrington / Sam Sammy Jo Jones. Sam Sammy Jo Jones has first appeared in the pilot episode of the Dynasty reboot. Sam is an openly gay man who is often helpful and enjoys partying. At the start of the series, he was seen as unreliable, but later in the show, he has become a hotel owner. His older friend, Anders, helped him achieve this goal. So what has the reboot changed with this character? Known as one of the biggest and most significant changes made, Heather Locklear's Sammy Jo Carrington niece is Cristal, a now gay male character called Sam Sammy Jo Jones, and he's now played by Venezuelan actor Rafael de la Fuente.
I got life, mother. I got laughs.
Alexis Carrington. Knoxville actress Elaine Hendricks is used to portraying intelligent, thinking, and underestimated women. Probably best known for her role as Meredith Blake in Disney's The Parent Trap, Hendricks has an affinity for these types of characters. Alexis Carrington of the CW's Dynasty reboot is an instance. However, playing Carrington was really challenging for Hendricks as she took on a role previously held by other talented actresses. Blake's first wife, Alexis Carrington, was played by Dame Joan Collins in the original. Desperate Housewives' Nicolette Sheridan first played Alexis in the reboot, but she left the show in the second season.
He and I have always had an understanding.
I'll bet. And which of these three is your guard dog?
Blake, please.
This is Mickey, my driver.
Blake Carrington. The tough businessman has no limits when it comes to his interests in Dynasty, even if it's illegal. While his love every single actor in Dynasty, not every one of them appears in every episode of the show. Only 3 characters have appeared in every episode so far: Blake, Fallon, and Sammy. Self-made CEO of Denver Carrington, or Carrington Atlantic, in the reboot series, Blake Carrington was played by Charlie's Angels star John Forsythe in the original series. Melrose Place's Grant Show portrays the role in the reboot.
You'll be back soon enough.
Fallon Carrington. Fallon Morell Carrington is the lead heroine in the Dynasty reboot. She is portrayed by Elizabeth Gillies. The daughter of Blake and Alexis was portrayed by Pamela Sue Martin, but in the 4th season, Fallon was recast with Emma Samms. Now, there's been a 3rd recast, and the actress and singer Elizabeth Gillies has been cast in the reboot series. Stephen Carrington. The reboot of Dynasty has been bothered by casting changes since Nathalie Kelley's role of Cristal was recast after season 1. Now, Stephen Carrington has not been recast yet, but James Mackay left the show in season 2. Famous for being one of the first gay main characters on a US TV show, and he married 2 women, Stephen was formerly played by Al Corley, who left at the end of the 2nd season. Jack Coleman then took the role. However, Corley returned for the miniseries Dynasty, The Reunion, and now Australian actor James Mackay plays the son of Blake and Alexis. Joseph Anders. Handpicked by Alexis Carrington to head her household, Joseph Arlington Anders was part of the Carringtons' days for a long time. The character of Joseph Anders was played in the first 4 seasons of Dynasty by the late Lee Bergere. The reboot cast Alan Dale. Michael Culhane. Michael Culhane is the central character in the television series Dynasty on the CW. He is represented by Robert Christopher Riley. Wayne Northrop's Michael Culhane dropped at the end of the first season but returned for the 7th season. In the reboot, he is played by Robert Christopher Riley, and with his character, the show gives much more diversity to the cast. Jeff Colby. One of the essential supporting characters in the CW series Dynasty and the original 80s series is Jeff Colby. He is a young and prosperous man who's involved in a battle with the tycoon Blake Carrington. He's also in a complicated relationship with Blake's daughter, Fallon. John James appeared as Jeff Colby in 6 seasons of Dynasty before starring in the spin-off show The Colbys. He returned in the show, however, when The Colbys got cancelled. In the reboot, he is played by Nigerian-American actor Sam Adegoke. Monica Colby. Monica is a real intellectual. She's Sable's beautiful, intelligent, but often with a lack of success daughter. She's really different from her brother, as she appeared to have gotten the most beneficial of her parental genes, her mother's grace and her father's brilliance. Tracy Scoggins first emerged as Jeff's cousin Monica Colby in Dynasty Season 5. In the reboot, Monica is played by Wakima Hollis. Matthew Blaisdell. Matthew Blaisdell's time on the show was short. He first appeared and was killed in the pilot of the series. He was portrayed by Nick Weschler. He was also Crystal's former lover. Bo Hopkins starred in the first season and came back in the following seasons, and Nick Weschler has taken over the role for the reboot. Claudia Blaisdell. Claudia Blaisdell plays one of the key characters in the television series Dynasty on the CW. She is portrayed by Brianna Brown. Matthew's wife Claudia had been freed from a psychiatric hospital in the original series, where she was played by Pamela Bellwood. In the reboot, she is healing from a head injury that has emerged in amnesia. Brianna Brown got the role of Claudia Blaisdell in the CW reboot. Walter Lankershim / Willy Santiago. Willy Santiago was a less important character in the television series Dynasty on the CW. He appeared in the pilot, and we last saw him in the 4th episode of the first season. He was portrayed by Dave Maldonado. Played by Dale Robertson in the original, Matthew's friend Walter Lankershim doesn't exactly appear in the reboot, but executive producer Sallie Patrick stated that Dave Maldonado's Willy Santiago is the new version of Walter. Ted DINARD. In the original show, sexually confused Stephen Carrington fell in love with another man while away from his home in Denver. Stephen's ex-boyfriend Ted DINARD is hoping to win back Blake and Alexis's younger son in both the original and the reboot of Dynasty. He's played by Mark Withers in the original and Michael Patrick Lane in the reboot. What's even better for the reboot is that the original Dynasty creators, Esther and Richard Allen Shapiro, are exec producers, giving their best storylines. Moving the plot from Denver to Atlanta, the producers also mixed up the cast perfectly with a new dose of acting talent. Who's your favorite character in Dynasty? Both the reboot and the original? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our videos in the future. As always, thanks for watching, guys.